All right, welcome. So today we're going to build a complete blueprint for a YouTube channel in a niche that's, well, surprisingly profitable and way easier to get into than you'd probably think: luxury cars. Seriously, by the end of this, you'll have a complete step-by-step system to turn that passion into a really successful channel.
Okay, so here's the plan. First, we'll talk about why this is such a gold mine. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty, crafting scripts, and grabbing your visuals. After that, we'll piece the whole thing together. And finally, make sure people on YouTube actually see it. It's the full journey from idea all the way to upload. Let's do it. So, first things first, the luxury car gold mine. Look, before we jump into how to do all this, we need to understand why it works so well. What is it about luxury cars that makes it such a killer opportunity, especially if you're just starting out?
So many creators struggle with this, right? You're looking for that perfect niche, something with a massive audience that's super passionate, but also one that can actually make you some serious money long term. Well, believe it or not, the luxury car space is one of those rare gems that just ticks both of those boxes perfectly. And here's why it works so well. It all comes down to these three things working together. Think about it. You've got this huge audience because, let's be real, who doesn't have a dream car? The content is evergreen, meaning your videos stay relevant for years. And the best part? Advertisers are willing to pay a lot of money to get in front of this audience. It's kind of the perfect recipe for a successful channel. Now, that last point, the high RPM, that is the real secret sauce here. RPM just means revenue per mil, or basically how much you earn for every 1,000 views. And in the car niche, that number is, well, it's way, way higher than for something like gaming or comedy. This means you can build a seriously profitable channel without needing millions and millions of views. It's a huge deal. All right, let's move on to crafting the perfect script. Now that we know why this works, let's get into the how. And trust me, the script is the absolute foundation of your entire video. If you get this part right, everything else that follows becomes so much easier. Okay, so you've basically got two amazing ways to get a great script. The first method is all about using AI to do the heavy lifting, researching and writing something totally fresh. The other method, well, it's a bit of a remix. You take what's already working out there on popular videos and cleverly adapt it to make it your own. Both are super powerful. So let's look at that first method, the AI research process. The real trick here, and this is important, is that you're not just telling the AI to invent a script out of thin air. No, you're feeding it real articles, actual source material. And by doing that, you're making sure your script is factually correct, full of juicy details, and, best of all, completely unique. Okay, now for that competitor remix method. The key to this is being smart and selective. You are not just copying someone's video. Not at all. You're grabbing a bit from here, skipping a part, grabbing another bit from there. You're cherry picking. Then you pop those sections into an AI and ask it to rephrase everything. What you end up with is something brand new, in your own voice, but built on a structure you already know works. It's brilliant. All right, your script is ready to go. So next up, gathering your visuals. This is the fun part where we bring that script to life. We're going to find all those stunning images and video clips that are going to tell the story and really grab your viewers' attention. I like to think of this as putting together your visual toolkit. You're going to pull from four main places. First, you'll grab images directly from those official articles. Then you'll find some high-quality stuff on Google Images. You'll also want to grab some short video clips, like 3 to 5 seconds max, just to add some movement. And for anything you can't find, you can even use AI to generate exactly the image you need. The absolute most important thing here is variety. You've got to mix and match everything: images, those AI creations, and the video clips. The whole point is to keep things dynamic. You never want the viewer to get bored. By constantly changing what's on screen, you keep their eyes glued to your video. Okay, let's move on to assembling the final video. This is where it all comes together. You've got your script, you've got your voiceover, you've got a whole folder of awesome visuals. Now we get to put it all together and make it look amazing. And the editing process is actually pretty straightforward. Just follow these steps. First, you lay out your visuals. Try to alternate between a video clip and an image to keep things interesting. Step 2, and this is crucial, you sync those visuals to your audio. So when your script says headlights, you show the headlights. Simple as that. Third, you add the polish. Some nice transitions, maybe a few effects, and definitely some auto captions. And finally, you add the music. A fast-paced track, maybe some hip-hop, works really well to give it that high-energy, luxury feel. Okay, your video is done. It's edited, it looks fantastic. But hold on, we're not quite finished. This last step, optimizing for YouTube, is, you can argue, the most important one of all. Because what's the point of making an amazing video if no one ever sees it? This is how we get it discovered. And guess what? We're going right back to our trusty AI assistant for this. It's so easy. You just take your final script, paste it into something like ChatGPT, and ask it to generate your title, your description, and your tags. It'll spit out everything you need, all perfectly optimized to make the YouTube algorithm happy. And check this out, this is exactly what that output looks like. The AI gives you this awesome, catchy title that people will actually search for. It writes a full description that's packed with all the right keywords. And it even gives you the perfect tag, so YouTube knows exactly who to show your video to. It basically does all the SEO heavy lifting for you. Last but not least, the thumbnail. And I've got some great news for you here. Keep it simple. Seriously, you don't need crazy text or your face on it. The most successful channels in this niche just use a beautiful, high-quality shot of the car. That's it. Because think about it, the car is the star of the show. That's what people want to see. Just let the car itself do the talking. So if there's one thing you take away from all this, it should be this. You do not need a huge budget or a fancy film crew to succeed here. Not at all. Success comes from having a smart, repeatable process, a system. And that's exactly what we've just laid out for you. And there you have it. That is the complete blueprint from that first little idea all the way to a fully optimized video on YouTube. The whole system is right here. So I guess there's really only one question left. What's your first video going to be about? Which dream car are you going to pick?